Here in Columbia, Tennessee, every April, thousands, and I mean thousands of people line the streets to witness a parade dedicated to a real ass.
Ass as in jackass. A crowd estimated between 90 and 100,000 gathered in Columbia, Tennessee Saturday for the annual Mule Day Parade and celebration. The image of what was once the farmer's best friend was everywhere. What is it about a mule that could cause such a celebration? Red Chop Scottsboro should know. He was practically raised on a mule. What do you like about a mule?
Just cause they work good and just love them.
Just love them?
Just love them. Next thing to my wife.
What do you think about a parade like this?
I think it's beautiful. Bunch of horse involved. You just have to watch where you're walking. This is one parade where the horses don't come last.
In Columbia, Tennessee, I'm your country rover, Jamie Cooper.
Okay, hey fellas, today we're going to cover conventional suspension. A couple of things you'll have to watch is make sure you put it on jacks.
Jim Bartlett, the auto body instructor at Muscle Shoals Vocational Center, claims to have had the most successful teaching tool he's ever had the past 3 years. Bartlett's teaching tool is a dream come true, a dream in the form of a midget-sized pickup truck. Actually, the truck is a combination of 9 70-model trucks and the chassis of an Olds Delta 88 with a 350 engine. The truck is the culmination of 3 years of Bartlett and his students on-the-job training.
The kids have done the whole thing, and if you can draw it on a board or draw it out in the floor, then them go build it, then you've passed some concept on to the kid to teach with.
Bartlett's truck is certainly no ordinary truck. It is, however, the lowest riding truck on the highway, 4 inches from road to frame. Bartlett himself has driven the truck more than 30,000 miles.
Yeah. Everybody notices it. You know, people wave, people stare, and I can read lips. So you're riding down the interstate, people look over and say, it's a truck. They don't realize that it's that low on the ground, and people expect it to ride real rough, but it's smooth. It has a car chassis, a little bit stiffer.
ZZ Chop here is actually nothing more than a fat Trans Am with a truck body. And Jim Bartlett doesn't mind if people look down on him. Easy, just as long as they look. In Muscle Shoals, I'm your country rover. Now, Jamie Cooper.
To some, Tommy Bass is a legend in his own time. Bass, who just turned 77, never went to school a day in his life, yet today he is a foremost authority on herbs, his education coming from the forest. No one anywhere is capable of doing what Tommy Bass does. Bass is an herbalist.
The next one here is the goosegrass, which is a wonderful reducer. It takes and it's also a good kidney medicine and also good for, now it's not a cure, none of these is. It just helps the body heal itself. But anyway, the goosegrass will dissolve kidney stones and also gallstone if you just stick with it.
Bass is so good and well known in what he does that not only do ordinary folks constantly call him for advice, but doctors and professors as well seek his knowledge. But to Tommy Bass, knowing what a weed is just something he's been doing since around 1918, when his father was a trapper and young Tommy just went to digging. He hasn't stopped. How is it you know so much about herbs?
Well, it's, the fact that Ben says it's 70 years experience. Anybody, I've been doing this almost 70 years, and anyone can't learn something in that time, well, by now they better quit. That's the way I look at it.
The Bass is aware that not everyone approves of his herbs and home remedies, but you better believe he's a believer.
Now, you don't have to make tea out of all this stuff if you don't want to. Some of it, like this goosegrass and chickweed, good for weight reduction, you can eat raw right out of the yard.
Right.
Like a goat.
Really, that's right. And
I didn't say it tastes all that good, but you can't eat it like this.
tastes kind of like lettuce. Got a kind of a lettuce taste.
I've tasted better lettuce.
Yes, I know.
In Leesburg, I'm your country rover,
That's it.
Jamie Cooper.
You have a sour stomach, or just chew a handful of the leaves and swallow the juice. You won't have a sour stomach no more.
So it's a Rolade.
Just in the place of a Rolade or Tums or anything like that. And
He's
then
as
if
close
you're
to
in
being a
wintertime,
doctor as
well,
you can
use
get
your heart.
without
Chew it and
actually
swallow the
being
juice.
one. Tommy Bass, however, doesn't know medicine. He knows herbs, practically all of them.
Sarsaparilla is one of the old time, ever since time. It's been used ever since the biblical days. And the roots is what you use.
What's it good for?
Well, it's actually a wonderful tonic, and it's a sex juvenator.
Sex juvenator?
Yes, sir. And for both men and women. You can make a tea
Bass
out
of
of it, or you
Leesburg,
can
Alabama,
put it
knows so much that Duke University is currently compiling a book about him. The Wall Street Journal is scheduled to do a story on him next month. Folks come from everywhere to seek the advice of Tommy Bass, a man who's never learned to drive, but mention a weed, and Tommy Bass is an expert.
People come to you and ask advice or ask you to...
Oh, good Lord, man. Telephone ringing, you get me out of bed all times of night. It's,
What do they want to know? What are some of the things they ask you?
want to know what to do for this. Maybe well, some of them, got diarrhea. What can we do for it? And
What can you do for diarrhea?
Well, several things you can do, but I always recommend blackberry root because everybody knows what blackberry is. And
Bass also claims he's a hillbilly without a guitar. He does, though, play a mean harmonica.
There are more pretty girls than one. There are more pretty girls than one. It's don't be blue, I'll tell you true. There are more pretty girls than one.
Tommy Bass would never say that herbs will completely cure you. They'll just ease your pain. And he'll guarantee that. In Leesburg with Tommy Bass, I'm your country rover, Jamie Cooper.
Well, I think it's the best deal in the world. This is the most wonderful place that we've ever seen. I've been excited about it.
Ed Neely just described what he and a bunch of other folks in Gunnersville have been experiencing the past 2 weeks. A free meal.
I would like the shrimp salad and the smoked turkey sandwich.
The local option, Gunnersville's newest restaurant and bar, which opened today, had been feeding some 30 to 50 people a day for lunch without charging them anything.
What do you think about getting a free meal?
Oh, I love it.
This cooks about 3 to 5 minutes. Bring it to a boil.
That's not unusual for a new place to eat to serve its guests a free meal while trying to iron out wrinkles, but 2 weeks? It's kind of expensive.
Not really if you take into consideration probably the business you'd lose by opening up making mistakes. That's where our emphasis is going to be placed on high quality food and service. So we want to make sure we have our act together before we open up, so we won't make any of these mistakes when we do open.
Though the local option, a name derived from Gunnersville's wet-dry issue of last summer, is located in a former service station garage, well, that didn't seem to bother all those who crowded in day after day to feed their face with free food and drinks.
Free meal?
I love them. It's hard to talk with your mouth full, but it sure is delicious.
You know, a lot of people are hoping this place never opens, but unfortunately, from now when you visit the local option here in Gunnersville, you'll have to pay for what you eat. All good things must come to an end. Where's my waitress?
Mr. Cooper, would you like anything?
Can I get another gallon of wine, please? And a doggy bag for all this. Can you get that?
Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am. I love a free meal. In Gunnersville, you have to take a shower first. I'm your country rover, Jamie Cooper. Okay.